Good morning, students. So, previous class we discussed about the Kelvin cycle or the C3 cycle, and today we are going to discussing about in Unit 1, that is Plant Physiology, Chapter 5. Chapter 5. So, Chapter 5 is the respiration in plants. Respiration in plants. So, like animals and other organisms, plants also respire. Plants also respire. So once you remember, in plants, two important life process. That is, the first one is the photosynthesis, and second one is the respiration. So in photosynthesis, what's happen? Carbon dioxide is taken and oxygen is released. But whereas in respiration, during respiration in plants, they may take the oxygen and release the carbon dioxide. This is most important point you have to keep in your mind. So during photosynthesis, plants take the carbon dioxide and liberate the oxygen. Whereas during respiration, plants take the oxygen and liberate the carbon dioxide. So this is you have to keep in your mind. Now we are going to directly into the already I said the question paper contain three types of question answers. That is 2 marks, 4 marks, 8 marks. In that we should call very short answer questions and short answer questions and long answer questions. So today we are going to discuss about very short answer questions, means 2 marks question answers. So the first question is, different substrates gets oxidized during respiration. So different during respiration, number of chemical substances undergo oxidation. So how does the respiratory quotient RQ, RQ is the abbreviation of respiratory quotient, so indicate which type of substrate, and that is carbohydrate, fat or protein is getting oxidized. So what is the respiratory quotient of the given substrates, means chemical substances, carbohydrates, fats, proteins? So now here the given equation RQ, respiratory quotient by A by B. So for this here, there will be what do A and B stands for. A by B, in which A means what, B means what type of substrates are have, what type of substrates have the RQ of 1 less than, that is 1 less than and 1. So now let us discuss about what is so now RQ. RQ means respiratory quotient. So here the formula to find out respiratory quotient of substrates, we have a formula that is so this is the formula to find out the substrates respiratory quotient. So substrates means already I say here I carbohydrate, fat, protein, these are the substrates. So to find out their quotient, respiratory quotient, we have a formula that is respiratory quotient equal to volume of CO2 evolved and volume of oxygen consumed. So above we have to write the production of carbon dioxide, and below we have to write consumption of oxygen. So here let us take here A stands for volume of carbon dioxide is evolved. B stands for volume of oxygen consumed. If RQ value is 1, the respiratory substrates are carbohydrates. So one thing you have to remember, if I will say the RQ is 1, respiratory quotient 1, means they are the carbohydrates. If RQ value is less than 1, the respiratory substrates are fats and proteins. So if the less than means the symbol is like that, we will write less than 1. So they are either proteins or fats. So whereas if the greater than the respiratory quotient is present, they are the organic acids. Now I will conclude. If the respiration quotient is 1, then they are the carbohydrates. If the respiratory quotient value is less than the 1, they are proteins or fats. If the respiratory value is greater than, the respiratory substrates are organic acid. This formula you have to remember, very, very important. RQ equal to the volume of CO2 evolved means production. And means taken, what we can say, production is, and the volume of carbon dioxide consumed. So this is about the chemical equation regarding to the respiratory quotient. Now let us take here the second question. The second question, this is the second question is, so the second question is, what is the specific role of F0 and F1 particles in respiration? What is the specific role of F0 and F1 particles in respiration? So now let us take the answer, and when we go to the answer, F0 is an integral membrane protein complex that forms the channel through the integral membrane protein complex that protons cross the inner membrane. So here integral membrane protein complex that forms the channel through which protons are across. Protons means H+ ions. The F1 headpiece is a peripheral membrane protein complex, contains the site for synthesis of ATP. So when we draw so like this. Now here F1, imagine. So this is the F0 integral protein complex, and here it will be F1 headpiece. So total this is the headpiece. F1 is peripheral membrane protein complex, contains the site for synthesis. Here what happens? One ATP is converted into ADP. One ADP converted into one ADP is converted into ATP. Here only ATP. So in which ADP is converted into ATP means in F1. Why? Because F1 is the head piece. So this is the so for better understanding now for here F0 and F1, I will draw the diagram here. So now let us take so this is the now right. So this is the outer. So here what's happened? There will be a the F. There will be a F0 particle. This is the F0 part. F0 part. This is this entire F0 part, and this is the F1 part. F1 part. So this is the integral, and here what's happened? Here protons are present inside. So imagine this is the chloroplast. When take the membrane, that is what we can say that sorry, mitochondria. Sorry, here. Sorry, this is not the chloroplast. When we take why? Because respiration is takes place in mitochondria. When we take the cristae, so and that respiration is takes place in mainly in mitochondria. So when take a membrane that is on cristae, so here what's happened? H. So this is we have to eradicate. Now let us take the mitochondria now actually. So mitochondria this is so inside there will be a respiration takes place in the elementary particles. When you take the in elementary particles now, so what happened the main F0 part it has like it is the head part. So tail part it is inner inside. This part is present inside and so it is the F0 and this total part is present outside. It is the head part. So headpiece is the outer part. Here what's happened from inside to outside protons H plus ions are called protons. These protons move across the membrane, across the inner membrane. So these protons now like this they may passes. So while passing here what's happened one ATP. So while moving what happens from high concentration to low concentration here one ADP is converted into because of adding the other phosphate is converted into ATP. ADP is converted into ATP. So this is occurs by the with the help of F0 and F1 particles. Where the one inorganic phosphate is there, this phosphate is added and converted into ATP. So now let us take there is a another question. There is a another question. So that is where does anaerobic respiration occurs in man and yeast? So this is most important. Already you know that respiration is two types, aerobic and anaerobic. But here the question when you take here the question when you take and when does anaerobic respiration occurs in man and yeast? Anaerobic respiration in Telugu అవాయు శ్వాసక్రియ అంటే ఆక్సిజన్ లేని సమక్షంలో రెస్పిరేషన్ జరగడం. సో ఆక్సిజన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు జరిగితే ఏరోబిక్ రెస్పిరేషన్ అంటాము, ఆక్సిజన్ లేనప్పుడు జరిగితే ఎనరోబిక్ రెస్పిరేషన్ అంటాం. సో ఇక్కడ ఎనరోబిక్ రెస్పిరేషన్ అనేది మానవునిలో మరియు ఈస్ట్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు ఫంగి, సింగిల్ సెల్యులార్ ఫంగి. మరి ఎక్కడ ఎనరోబిక్ రెస్పిరేషన్ ఎక్కడెక్కడ జరుగుతుంది అనే దాని క్వశ్చన్ ఇక్కడ మనకు ఆన్సర్ తీసుకుంటే, ఎనరోబిక్ respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. The respiration which occurs in the absence of oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. So in man, mainly when oxygen is inadequate, means not sufficient for cellular respiration, anaerobic respiration is occurs, which leads to a muscle fatigue, where mainly pyruvic acid is converted into lactic acid. So when we take in our body, mainly in the muscles, when we work frequently, so when we work mainly anaerobic respiration in human being should be takes place in the muscles. So because of we work more, so that oxygen will not reach in that places. Because of oxygen is not reaching in that cells, the glucose, nothing but pyruvic acid, is undergo reduction and produce the lactic acid So that here what's instead of producing glucose, and here what's happened, the pyruvic acid is converted into lactic acid during anaerobic respiration. So this is you have to remember most important during anaerobic respiration. So the pyruvic acid is converted into lactic acid. It is occurred in the human being muscles. And fatigue means alsataya. So in yeast, when we take in yeast, incomplete oxidation of the glucose occurs under anaerobic condition, which leads to formation of alcohol. So when the oxygen is not sufficient to the yeast cells, what happens, the glucose is undergo anaerobic respiration and produce alcohol. This process is called fermentation. Now I will give definition. The fermentation is nothing but the process or the in the absence of oxygen is called fermentation. So the process of conversion of glucose into alcohol in the absence of oxygen is called fermentation. This is you have to keep in our mind. Fermentation is the one type of anaerobic respiration. So if whenever whoever ask, give example for anaerobic respiration means fermentation. It is also where it is occurred means in yeast. Yeast belongs to fungi. So in man, where it is occurred means in the muscles. Why? Because we work more. Because of working, oxygen will not reach. Whatever glucose or pyruvic acid is present in that muscles undergo anaerobic respiration, so that it convert into lactic acid. So there is a question, during anaerobic respiration pyruvic acid is converted into dash, it convert into lactic acid. Lactic acid కన్వర్ట్ ద్వారా మన మజిల్స్ కి మన మజిల్ పెయిన్ రావడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. అంటే ఆక్సిజన్ రీచ్ కాకపోవడం వల్ల మజిల్స్ లో ఉన్న పైరువిక్ యాసిడ్ లాక్టిక్ యాసిడ్ గా కన్వర్ట్ కావడం వల్ల ఈ లాక్టిక్ యాసిడ్ మజిల్స్ లో అలాగనే ఉండడం వల్ల మనకు ఫెటిగ్ అంటే అలసట, బాడీ పెయిన్స్ రావడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. సో నెక్స్ట్, what is the common pathway for aerobic and anaerobic respiration, and where does this occurred? So here the there will be a three important steps, phases are there. రెస్పిరేషన్. సో రెస్పిరేషన్ అనేది ఒక లాంగ్ చైన్ లాగా ఉంటుంది, 3 దశలలో కంప్లీట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. మొదటి దశను ఏమంటాం అంటే గ్లైకాలసిస్ అంటాం. సో ఈ రెండవ దశను క్రెబ్స్ సైకిల్ అంటాము, మూడవది ఎలక్ట్రాన్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ చైన్ అంటాం. కాబట్టి రెస్పిరేషన్ అనేది ఒక ఫేజ్లో జరిగేది కాదు, రెండో ఫేజ్లో జరిగేది కాదు, మూడో ఫేజ్లో. సో టోటల్గా రెస్పిరేషన్ కంప్లీట్ కావడానికి జరగవలసినటువంటి ఫేజ్లు ఎన్ని అంటే 3. 1 గ్లైకాలసిస్, 2 క్రెబ్స్ సైకిల్, 3 ఎలక్ట్రాన్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ చైన్. సో అందులో ఈ రెస్పిరేషన్ లో ఫస్ట్ ఫేజ్ ఏంటిది అంటే గ్లైకాలసిస్. సో ఈ గ్లైకాలసిస్ ఏం లేదు, ఆక్సిడేషన్ ఆఫ్ ది గ్లూకోజ్ ఇంటూ పైరువిక్ యాసిడ్. ఇక్కడ గ్లైకాలసిస్ లో గ్లూకోజ్ అనేటువంటి మాలిక్యూల్ పైరువిక్ యాసిడ్ గా మారుతుంది. మరి గ్లూకోజ్ అనేటువంటి మాలిక్యూల్ పైరువిక్ యాసిడ్ గా మారాలంటే ఆక్సిజన్ అవసరం ఉండొచ్చు, ఉండకపోవచ్చు. కాబట్టి ఇది రెండిట్లో జరుగుతుంది. సో గ్లైకాలసిస్ విచ్ టేక్స్ ప్లేస్ ఇన్ బోత్ కండిషన్స్, దట్ ఈస్ ఏరోబిక్ అండ్ ఎనరోబిక్ రెస్పిరేషన్. సో ఏరోబిక్ presence of oxygen, anaerobic absence of oxygen. So there is a question, glycolysis is the glycolysis takes place in both conditions? Yes, glycolysis takes place in both conditions, either in the absence of oxygen, that is aerobic respiration, or the presence of oxygen, sorry, either the presence of oxygen is aerobic, either in the absence of oxygen is called anaerobic. So it is cytoplasm of the cell, cytoplasm of the సెల్. గ్లైకాలసిస్ ఎక్కడ జరుగుతుంది అంటే సైటోప్లాజంలో జరుగుతుంది. సెల్లో ఉన్నటువంటి లిక్విడ్ పార్ట్లో గ్లైకాలసిస్ అనేది జరుగుతుంది. సో నౌ let us so now fifth question, what cellular organic substances are never used as a respiratory substrates? So respiratory substrates అంటే కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్, ప్రోటీన్స్, ఫ్యాట్స్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. ఈ రెస్పిరేటరీ సబ్స్టాన్సెస్ జనరల్గా సెల్యులార్ ఆర్గానిక్ సబ్స్టాన్సెస్గా యూజ్ చేయనిటివి అన్నాడు. సో ప్యూర్ ప్రోటీన్స్, ఫ్యాట్స్ ఆర్ నెవర్ యూజ్డ్ యాజ్ ఏ ప్యూర్ ప్రోటీన్స్. సో కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్, ప్రోటీన్స్, ఫ్యాట్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం, కానీ అందులో ప్యూర్ ప్రోటీన్స్, ఫ్యాట్స్ ఆర్ నెవర్ యూజ్డ్ యాజ్ ఏ రెస్పిరేటరీ సబ్స్ట్రేట్స్. Respiratory substances means the substances which undergo reduction reactions in the respiration are called respiratory substances. Example, కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్, ఫ్యాట్స్ మరియు ప్రోటీన్స్ గా చెప్పవచ్చు. అయితే ఇందులో ప్యూర్ ప్రోటీన్స్ మరియు ఫ్యాట్స్ అనేటివి రెస్పిరేటరీ సబ్స్ట్రేట్స్ గా యూజ్ చేయము. కాబట్టి ద క్వశ్చన్ ఆన్సర్ ఈస్ ప్యూర్ ప్రోటీన్స్ ఆర్ ఫ్యాట్స్. So now we are going to discuss about sixth question. So why is the RQ of fats less than that of carbohydrates? So because of fats are poorer in oxygen, the proportion of oxygen to carbon in fats is invariably less as compared to carbohydrates. So hence they require more oxygen for complete oxidation. Thus RQ is less than 1 for fats. So generally for the oxidation of the fats, they require more oxygen. Because of requiring more oxygen, what's happened, they have less the RQ value, that is less than RQ value. So less than the 1. సో ఒకటి కంటే తక్కువగా ఉంటుంది ఆర్క్యూ వాల్యూ. ఫ్యాట్స్ యొక్క ఆర్క్యూ వాల్యూ ఒకటి కంటే తక్కువగా ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి మనం ఈ విధంగా చూపిస్తాము. ఇది 1, సో ఇది లెస్ దెన్ సింబల్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద 1 అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద 1. సో లెస్ దెన్ 1. So fat's respiratory quotient is less than 1. This is you have to keep in our mind. And then next go to the next go to the so when what is means ambibolic pathway? What is meant ambibolic pathway? The term ampi means both. Bolic pathway is used to signify the Krebs cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle, Krebs cycle. So Krebs cycle general ga dini ambibolic pathway antam. So in this Krebs cycle or TCA cycle involves both anabolism and catabolism. Sorry, both reactions it undergo, that is catabolism, oxidation of the fats and carbohydrates, oxidation of the fats and carbohydrates, anabolism, synthesis of alpha ketogluteric acid and amino acid, substrate for the synthesis of amino acids, synthesis of amino acids. So ఇక్కడ రెండు జరుగుతున్నాయి, సింథసిస్ అండ్ అనాలిసిస్. అనాలిసిస్ అంటే బ్రేక్ డౌన్ ఆఫ్, దట్ ఈస్ catabolism. Synthesis అంటే anabolism. So because of in Krebs cycle both reactions are occurring, so it involves in both catabolic way and anabolic way, so that this is called ambibolic pathway because of involving in both reactions, catabolic reactions and metabolic reactions, so that the Krebs cycle is ambibolic pathway. Krebs cycle is also called tricarboxylic acid cycle. Next, eighth one. So name of the mobile electron carriers of the respiratory electrons transport chain in the inner mitochondrial membrane. So mainly mobile electron carriers of the respiratory substrates, that is ubiquinone. It is the one of the most important electron acceptor which is present between complex 1 and 3rd, complex 1 and 3rd, and between complex 2nd and 3rd. Ubiquinone, it is the one of the most important electron acceptor. There is another electron acceptor with cytochrome C, which is present complex between 3rd and 4th. So ubiquinone and ubiquinone C, that is ubiquinone C and ubiquinone and cytochrome C, both are electron acceptors, means which receive the electron. So they are present in these complexes. And next go to the 9th question, that is what is the final acceptor of electrons in aerobic respiration, from which complex does it receives electron? So here electrons after moving through the electron acceptors in the electron transport chain, finally which substance is taken the electrons? So oxygen is the ultimate final acceptor of electrons in aerobic respiration. So electron different to electron acceptors ద్వారా మూవ్ అయి ఫైనల్ గా ఎలక్ట్రాన్ ఎవరు తీసుకుంటున్నారు అంటే ఆక్సిజన్ తీసుకుంటుంది అన్నమాట. సో ద అల్టిమేట్ ఫైనల్ acceptor of electrons in the aerobic respiration is oxygen. From the complex 4th, that is cytochrome C oxidase, it receives electrons and gets reduced to water, to water. So when it receives the oxygen and protons, that is H2O, and both become as a water, both become as a water, gets reduced into a water. From complex fourth, it receives the electrons and gets reduced into a water. This is you have to keep in your mind. Now last 10th question. So do you know of if of any step in Krebs cycle where is where there is a substrate level phosphorylation? Phosphorylation. So in Krebs cycle, succinyl coenzyme A. So this is the table you have to keep in our mind. And now I will explain. So whereas in one of the reaction in Krebs cycle, succinyl coenzyme A splits into succinic acid and coenzyme A. Coenzyme A. So succinyl coenzyme A divides and produces two substances, that is succinic acid and coenzyme A, by the catalytic activity of succinic thiokinase. Because of participating this enzyme, succinic thiokinase, the succinyl coenzyme A splits into succinic acid and coenzyme A, where the ATP molecule is synthesized through a substrate level phosphorylation. Here in this reaction, one phosphate is formed. One phosphate is formed. So now I will show in equation when you take about now where we taken that is so now let us take this. So here succinyl coenzyme A, and by using A by so is converted into succinic acid and coenzyme A by utilizing one phosphate, and to the one ADP, one phosphate is added. I means inorganic, P means phosphate. So to adenosine diphosphate combined with inorganic phosphate. So here two phosphates are there, here one phosphate. So total three phosphates are converted into adenosine triphosphate. So in this reaction, there will be three reactants and three products. Number one is the succinic acid, number two is the coenzyme A, number three is the ATP. So this is you have to keep in your mind. This equation is most important in examination level. This is